Back in 2018, my partner Anna and I wrote a book based around my drawings of all the old abandoned buildings and structures that we used to see when we were driving around the countryside. I was fascinated by them. I wanted to know who lived there. Were they farmers? How many children? You know, all these questions. And Anna did all the research. She found out all about them. And we put it all in our book, Beyond the Fence, in and around the Lockyer Valley. A real beautiful part of southeast Queensland. Now in this series of blogs, I take you back to these places. Not to redraw them, but to revisit them. And to see if there's something else or nearby that I can draw. So stick around. I'd love to take you with me on my artistic journey. I'm Robbie Greer from Rusticated Art, and this is Beyond the Fence Revisited. Well, I have decided today that a couple of things. One, I'm not going to put the piles or what they call here in Aussie are the stumps. I'm not going to put the actual angle. So there'll be another one over here so we can actually see just more than just the one. I'm not going to do that until I've done up here. And once I've got there, I'll have a better idea, because it's pretty hard trying to get the actual perspective when we can see the axle and the horses. When I do more detail on the horses, you'll be able to see them sort of a bit more front on. So I'm going to leave that part until then. I think that'll be the best, and then I'll get a better feel for it, because no point putting it all in and I don't get it how I want it to be. I've got plenty to go on with, and I'm going to be, because I am using the grid method, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my little cutout template, and I'm going to just go with the squares because I want to get it as accurate as I can. You know, I'll get all the detail in here. So today I'm going to start with the coach and just work my way across, because you know I don't follow the grid right, the letter of the template, because I want to make it unique as well, but it's more of a guideline, I guess, more than anything. At the same time, you know, I do want to get it as close as I can. So I've not only got the image printed out with the grid on it, but I've also got in front of me the same image on my monitor. I've been doing a little bit of research. Now, where the bridge is, it used to be the old Toowoomba Road, and it's the road that we drove over in the first video. And back in the day, they used to call, well, what they used to do before they had decent roads and that, they used to have what they called a corduroy road. Now, corduroy road was where what they'd do is they'd put logs on the road, and because when the roads got really muddy in the winter, of course the coaches couldn't go over them because they'd just get stuck, bogged down, so they just lay down all the logs, and so the wagons would go over them. Now, not far from where the bridge is, Sanger's Bridge, it's believed that, and I say believed because I can only go on the information that I've been given, and quite often a lot of the information that I've been given, there's no actual proof. There's nothing written down anywhere, apparently. Well, I can't find anything, and from what the articles that I've been reading in the newspapers and that from that time, well, 1982, I think, 84, and that explains, well, not so much explains, but it talks about what was actually going on at the time. I mean, the Convicts Bridge is also called the Convicts Bridge, so that they say it was built by convicts. So I'm just going to go with that. It's really all I have to go on. But what they're saying is that where this bridge was, there was a hitching post, and that the Cobb & Co coaches as it was the halfway point between Ipswich and Toowoomba, which are the two main cities. And the council at the time had built a dam there, so for the settlers to use. So that's why they're saying that this is where the Cobb and Co coaches used to come and stop and rest the horses and whatever they had to do. So it is a real great piece of history. And back in 1984, an anonymous donor had offered $3,000, which I guess, would have, well, I mean, that's what they thought would be enough to restore the bridge, so it must have been a lot of money. Some of this is a bit hard to see on the reference photo, so I'm just putting it how I think it looks. That chair obviously goes across, and because you've got all the luggage on top here. And next to it, they have what they call a Bora Bora ring. Well, it was believed to be a Bora Bora ring, but it's since been proven that it wasn't. Now, Bora Bora ring is to do with where the ancient, where the indigenous people used to meet. It was a ceremonial thing, but they've sort of realised or come to the conclusion that it wasn't one of those. It's not one of those. And Anna spoke to the guy, and I've actually met the guy too. He's an Italian guy who owns that property, and he's built a beautiful house all out of bricks. He's got beautiful gardens. I'd love to be able to go out there again one day and get some footage because it was amazing. And that was going back. We actually got bricks from there. We've got some of them around the house here. I love putting in especially the old cobblestone bricks. I love them. This place, this area, there is so much history. Yeah, so I'm fascinated by the history of it. And the people that live in this area, mostly German settlers, and they had to be hard people. Certainly wasn't an easy climate to live in, and it would have been totally foreign to what they would have been used to. Totally. The conditions, I mean, for example, the weather, the climate, that'd be enough to make anyone want to go home. I don't know how anyone could even survive without air conditioning, but I guess if you don't know anything about it, you don't miss it. They would have found other ways, I suppose, to keep them cool. And you got not just the climate, and you got the snakes. Wouldn't want to get bitten back then because there wouldn't have been no way you could get a snake shot or whatever, like they certainly wouldn't have had any anti-venom. And they wouldn't have known about this stuff. Well, unless they got snakes where they come from, maybe they have, but some of the snakes here are the most deadliest in the world. I've been here 6 years, just over 6 years. I've seen probably 3 snakes. I used to do a little bit of property maintenance. I still do a little bit. And be out whippersnipping, and I'm glad I had the whippersnipper in front of me because when you see them, they're not very big, but they're lethal. And they were just really, and man, can they move? Yeah, sort of in shadow there. Yeah, no, I take my hat off to them, and of course, but there's so many different things that we're sort of hearing about. Like they had squatters, and I don't really fully understand what. I know that means they didn't own the land; they just lived on it. But the government had all sorts of deals going on. But I knew when I first came to this area, when I first came over to Aussie and came out here for a ride, just by looking at the buildings, the old homes, the old Queenslanders and that, but they had all these really ornate designs. I just had a funny feeling then that I wonder if this was German, and then of course as soon as you see all the street names and that, you know straight away. I don't want to do too much detail. I think I've just about done enough talking for now. So depending on what part of the world you're in, once again, grab a glass or a cup of your favourite drink, put your feet up, sit back and relax, think about the wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll see you in a few minutes. has written another poem. Been a while, so I thought I'd slip it in here. The ride is long, but go they must. 5 strong horses have their trust. A sturdy painted timber carriage, full passenger load, stacked up with luggage. Some roads just tracks, with rocks and slides down deep steep inclines. A scary ride, progress helped over impassable bogs, with muddy flats covered by corduroy logs. Bumping along, passengers strive to the last journey, just survive. About halfway along Old Toowoomba Road, the carriages stop to rest from the load. People step out, horses thirst to sate. Sandy Creek water is there for a break. There Sanger's Bridge once proudly stood, fortress-sized trunks made of convict cut wood. Surely all thought it would stand up to a flood. Well, it lasted for over 60 or 70 years, so it didn't do too bad. There's a lot of things I can't really see what's going on. But what I'm going to do, I know where there is a stagecoach, a Cobb & Co stagecoach, so I'm going to go, hopefully we've had a bit of rain, like quite heavy rain actually. Well, we've been lucky, I think we've had about 30 mil, but it's rained on and off all day today, and I was hoping to go out today and visit this stagecoach. It's only 20 minutes down the road, I suppose. And I want to take you there and show it to you. It's in a big glass shed, and I want to go for 2. One to show you, and the other one is just to see the details, like where do the horses, where are they actually connected up in here? There must be something in there, but I can't really see it properly in the photo. I can see bits and pieces here, and there's straps and things like that to hold the horses in place, and the reins, but I don't know what's exactly going on here, so I'm only just guessing. So I'm going to leave it there for today. So we've got most of the underdrawing of the stagecoach done, and the guys and the passengers and everything. I think this will be a good place to leave it. And I will be doing quite a bit off camera, because that is very, very slow and tedious. Well, I don't think it is, but I wouldn't expect anyone to sit and watch it the whole way through. A lot of rubbing out, backwards and forwards, and of course I'm not going to be satisfied until I get it right. So I will, as I say, I'll do some of it off camera. Yeah, why is that leg looking like that? Oh, that's his leg. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. So there's another leg sort of. But anyway, yep, we'll leave it there for today. I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Well, it's a slow process, but that's part of what I love about drawing. Start off with the outline, and then you do the underdrawing, and slowly coming forward to get all the detail in the finished product. Now, if you're enjoying what you're seeing and think you're getting some value, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with your friends, because if you like it, the chances are they're going to like it just as much. And if you haven't yet subbed and you'd like to, hit that red sub button, click on all, and that way you'll get notified when my latest video comes out. Now, if you're new to my channel and you'd like to see more, then this video up here is the one you should watch next. Well, that's about it for this week. Stay safe out there, have a wonderful weekend, my friends, and we'll see you in part 3, same time, same place.